The three hidden gaps that are stopping you from scaling, how to be able to identify the structural blind spots that are silently capping your growth, and how to close them for good. Hey there, everyone. My name is Shanna Martell, and I am a business mentor, your online course creation, AI, tech, and automation strategist. And I'm here to help you to be able to understand and explore what those hidden gaps are that are stopping you from scaling and how to close them once and for all. I just wanted to start with talking about what the problem that we typically see and that I have seen in my whole career. I started my career in 1995 and worked in corporate for 23 years. I've been in the online space since 2019, and I've launched various coaching programs and served over 3,000 members and students inside of my containers. And what I see time and time again is people who are smart, they're working hard, they're very talented, but they feel stuck and they feel like it doesn't matter how many hours they work, it doesn't matter what, you're doing everything right, but your business isn't actually growing the way it should be. Most people think that problem is a marketing problem or it's a visibility problem. That's not what the problem really is. The problem is that you have three gaps in your business. And if you don't fix these gaps that we're going to be talking about, you can work harder, you can get on more social media platforms, you can get more leads in your business, but you can also still stay stuck and not be able to scale your business to the revenue level that you want to be able to scale it to. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly what those particular gaps are. How many of you feel like you are doing a lot, but you're not really scaling your business in the way that you want? You probably almost feel like you're working your 9 to 5 and that you're working more and more hours, but you're not seeing the return on the investment compared to the work that you're doing in the business. Let me know if that, give me a one in the chat below that you feel like you doing all of the things in your business, but you're still not being able to scale it to the level of revenue that you want to be able to scale it to. We're going to solve that for you today. You're working hard, but your business isn't scaling it to the level that you want it to be scaling to. And you feel stuck. How much effort you pour, you can't seem to be able to break through to that next income level. You're capped and your income has a ceiling. And I remember feeling that way in corporate, that it didn't matter how many hours I worked, 50, 60, 70 hours a week, that my income was always going to be capped. We only get a couple of percentages increase a year. It wasn't really tied to what I was doing. Your ceiling is determined by your hours, not your value. Or you're feeling overwhelmed because you're managing everything yourself in your business. Maybe it's just you and your business. You're a solopreneur and you don't have a team yet. Here's the truth, though. This is not a marketing problem. You don't need more content. You don't need more ads. And you definitely don't need a bigger audience to be able to scale your income. The issue is hiding somewhere else entirely. And never fear, because we're going to be talking about where that is in this training today. Most founders assume that scaling is about getting more eyeballs, visibility, getting more on more platforms and getting in front of more people. You double down on the things that feel really productive, but they're not really solving the problem. What you think is that your content isn't good enough. How many of you guys have felt that way? I know I certainly have in the past. Didn't think my content is good enough. Maybe you ditch your offer that you've been trying to launch and you scrap it and you go try another one. But what it actually is, it's your business structure. So it's this invisible architecture underneath everything that you do or that you don't do. That marketing just means more chaos and louder volume. What we want to do is to be able to create that strong foundation. If you're building a house, you want to make sure that you have a strong foundation because that's where you're going to be able to scale. If you think about it, you can only take so many one-on-one clients a week on your own before you're maxed out, right? Because it's not only the delivery that you do with your one-on-one clients every week, but you also have to have time for product development. You also have to have time for marketing and for sales and for admin. Having a structure is what you really need to have in place, that strong foundation to be able to scale your business to generate more revenue. By the end of this training, you're going to be able to pinpoint exactly which gap is costing you the most and know what your next move is to be able to close that gap once and for all. We're going to be talking about in this training the 3 hidden gaps. We're going to identify these structural blind spots that are silently capping your growth right now. We're going to be diving into what those look like, recognize the real world signs in your own business, and really how to audit your own business and how to take a look at and identify what of the top 3 gaps that we're going to be covering in today's training applies to you and your business. And then we're going to be talking about what they're really costing you. So understanding the true price in time, money, and energy that leaving these gaps open are costing you. And then, most importantly, we're going to be talking about number 4, how to fix them. By the end of this session today, you're going to be able to walk away with a clear, actionable path to be able to close each of those gaps and build a scalable foundation in your business. The 3 gaps that are holding you back, these aren't like surface level problems. They're really structural. They're baked into the way that you do business and the way your business operates. And most founders really stumble across all of these 3 without really realizing it until the growth stalls completely. Gap number 1 that we're going to be talking about is not having an infrastructure. So not having like a plan of action and the way that you actually do things. You don't have your SOPs or your standard operating procedures dialed in and knowing exactly step by step what your workflow is on everything that you do in your business. So it not only becomes scalable and repeatable, but it also becomes something that you could be able to train. Say if you have VAs in your business or employees in your business, that you could hand them off that particular training to be able to execute on that without you handholding them. Number 2 is that you don't have a qualification process in your business to identify and qualify the people that you're working with. And gap number 3 that we're going to dive into is not having a signature system. The way you do things, your secret sauce, your signature workflows, not really having that dialed in, that is something that is teachable and it's repeatable. And each gap compounds on the others. So if you close all 3 and you have a foundation of a business that can truly grow without you being on and in it every single minute of the day, like it can run without you. Tell me right now, drop a 1 in the chat below if this is you, that the minute you stop, so does business. Like the minute you stop in your business, whether it's a sick day or whether it's vacation, something like that, a planned time out of your business, does everything stop with you? Or do you have systems in place and structures in place that the business can run with or without you? That is the ultimate goal right there, that we want the business to run without us and for the business to be able to generate revenue and deliver incredible client experience with and without us being there. Gap number 1 of 3 that we're going to be talking about is having no infrastructure in the business. This is where like everything again depends on you. You're delivering everything manual. Every client is custom. There's no real system behind what you do. That's what we talk about. Like it's all in your head, right? This is where you're running the day-to-day operations in your business and everything is reliant on you and you being present in your business to be able to execute on the particular task inside your business each day. They're not always like glaring, right? They don't always just announce themselves. They sit quietly and they drain you of your time and your energy every single day. Look at these and check whether these things are true for you. I've given you these slides today too. So there's a PDF and it's linked in the description below in the Founders Lab. And in here, if you look in the going live today, if you look in the description here, I've dropped the slides in here for you so you can join the Signature System Blueprint Challenge, as well as the link to today's training, and as well as the slides that are from today's training presentation. I've gifted those to you as well. So you have them to be able to go back through after today's session and do that little audit checklist for yourself. All right. So we've covered the number 1 sign here is that everything is manual. Number 2 is that every client is different. So you're just taking any and every client that you can possibly work with, and you're having to reinvent the wheel for each engagement. So there's no standard experience. There's no standard level of consistent results that you're helping clients get. So it's very inconsistent and very exhausting to deliver because you're not walking people through your signature system. There's no clear process. So there's no documented workflow. And this is what we talk about SOPs, standard operating procedures. There's no documented workflow. It all lives in your head. And it makes it really impossible to be able to hand off, delegate, and replicate these particular tasks in your business. I work with a lot of clients that, like when they first start working with me, all of this is in their head and it becomes very hard. And it's also feels hard in the beginning too, to stop and take a breath and work on extracting this knowledge out of your head and getting it into standard operating procedures and training, because it requires you to slow down to be able to execute on this step. So again, like if you step away from your business for 2 weeks and everything stops, you're not running a business, you're being the business, right? So you want your business to be able to operate even without you there. The real cost of not having this infrastructure in place is expensive. So not having this infrastructure puts a ceiling on every dimension of growth inside your business. You can't scale because there's no foundation to build the business on. And adding more clients just means adding more chaos, right? Not more revenue to your business. And again, you get hit with there's only so many hours in a week or in a day, like to be able to take on more one-on-one clients, and you just get maxed out and can't take on more. You can't take time off because rest really isn't optional. You're sacrificing your sleep because you're working all hours of the night, but that should not be your norm. Without these systems, every vacation becomes a liability. Every weekend becomes a day to catch up instead of a day to be able to spend time with your family and your loved ones, or just doing nothing and watching Netflix movies all day. Like you should be able to do that, right? You can't charge premium prices because premium prices require premium delivery. And if your process is inconsistent, the client feels it and the rates are going to reflect that. And you ultimately burn out. So operating without this infrastructure means running a business at full capacity. Burnout isn't a risk, it's a guarantee. And I can attest to burnout. That's why I left corporate, because I got completely burned out and my body just gave out. So don't get yourself into that bind. Really take the time to give your business the attention it needs and get these systems in place ahead of time. And it's going to save you so much on the long end. So let's talk about a client of mine that I had was a marriage counselor, and she was incredible at what she did, but everything was custom. The intake process was custom. The sessions were custom. The follow-up was custom. And she became capped at $4,000 a month. So no matter how hard she pushed, she really couldn't get beyond that $4,000 a month cap. And the culprit is that every single client engagement was completely custom. There was nothing standardized. A restaurant or McDonald's, like everything is standardized, and then there's a system and a practice and a procedure for everything that it can just keep running like an assembly line. You want to be able to get many parts of your business running like that on autopilot. And because of that, because there were no templates, because there were no repeatable processes and no structure at all, she was exhausted, not from working with clients. It's not that, because we love our clients. We love what we do, but we get tired and we get exhausted from having to rebuild the business every week, having to restart from zero every single week or every single month. Again, no system is no scale. So ceiling wasn't her talent, it was the infrastructure. So let's talk about the shift here. Closing the gap doesn't mean losing personal touch. And that's what a lot of people think, right? People are signing up with you because it is your system, right? It is your expertise and they do want to work with you. But it doesn't mean that you have to give that up all the way around and not have that personal touch. What it really means is having a consistent container for that great work to live inside of. So looking at the before, looking at my client, the marriage counselor before, it's all manual delivery. Every client starting from zero, you're rebuilding that process each and every time. You're answering the same questions over and over and carrying on the weight of that delivery in your head, on your shoulders. Once you implement this structured system in your business, every client enters a defined journey. They all go through the same onboarding process because it's all automated. It's all templated inside of your business. They all have the same first class red carpet experience going through your business. So the outcomes are predictable for both you and your clients. So what this means is your clients have consistent results. You get consistent results in your business. This documented process means clients get that same high quality experience every single time, regardless of how busy you are or not, regardless if you're on vacation, regardless if you just took a sick day off, it doesn't matter. And it also allows your business to scale because once you get these systems in place, you can serve more clients, you can bring in support, you can grow a team, and you can do all of this without burning out. So, gap number 2 of 3 is having no qualification process. So, this one cost you more than you realize not having this qualification process in place. So, this is where you look at saying yes to everyone. You're taking on clients who aren't a good fit in your business because you are just like trying to make money in your business. You're trying to be able to grow and scale your business. So, you just feel like every job that comes along that you have to say yes to. And signs to look at in your business when you're doing your audit to determine where you are at this particular point is one, do you say yes to everyone? If a prospect has a credit card and a problem, you take them on. There's no vetting, there's no criteria, there's no intentional selection process. So look at that in your business. Is that you? Are you doing work in your business for clients that you do not enjoy doing just because they had a problem and they were willing to pay you to solve it? Number 2 is clients aren't a good fit. You find yourself working with people who don't trust your process, who resist your guidance, or simply aren't in the right place to get the results that you're offering. And it's exhausting. You give everything, but the relationship feels heavy and it feels unrewarding because, again, you're giving and you don't feel that rate of return, not only in your revenue, but it's in your joy of what you're doing in the business because you don't enjoy the work, or maybe the client is really difficult to work with and you don't enjoy that. So the results that you have in your business are very inconsistent. Some clients are really going to thrive and others are going to stall. And without this qualification filter, results depend more on luck. So the real cost that this gap has of not having this qualification process is that every wrong fit client costs far more than their contractual value, meaning AKA the money that they're paying you in your business. The true price is in paid energy and focus and momentum that you lose when chasing results that were never achievable. Wrong clients can look like, again, clients, they require a lot more handholding, they generate more conflict, and rarely become that referral source or repeat buyers in your business. They pay lower prices. So unqualified clients are going to push back on price. When you're not selective, you start discounting just to be able to close, right? And you start eroding your rates and you start eroding your profit and your positioning. More stress. So difficult clients is like having a full-time job just to be able to stay up on top of your actual work. So it crowds out the capacity for the client to actually energize you. And you can all think back on clients. I know I've certainly had clients that I've taken in my career that are just like energy drains, and you like dread the work or dread having to get on calls with them because it just becomes a gripe session, for lack of better means, on what's not working versus what is working, in that excitement to be able to grow. Slower growth. The wrong fit clients rarely get these results. No results means no testimonials, means no referrals, and no social proof for you to be able to bake back into your marketing to be able to get the right people next time. The early coaching lesson that changed everything for me is when I said yes to everyone, I ended up working harder, getting worse results, and feeling drained. I miss them. I love my clients. So, looking at that for you, is it your instinct to take on every client that you can get? Is it that fear, that scarcity that feels like leaving money on the table? That you have to say yes, or, you're not going to, maybe you won't be able to sign another client. The result by being in this particular place is that more hours are going to be worked. You're going to be spending more time and energy, and the outcomes are not going to be good for your clients or for you or for your family. Like, this is a trickle effect. So trying to force results with the wrong people is just a losing game. The moment client satisfaction process becomes intentional, this is where everything shifted for me. My income, my energy, my results, and confidence. The right clients change everything. Quality of fit beats quality of clients every single time. And think about that. Hopefully, you've had clients in your business that you absolutely, they're dream clients. You love working with them. It's like hanging out with your best friend. That's what you want it to be. It doesn't have to be best friend every single time, but you really should enjoy it, right? You didn't get in this business to not enjoy what you do. Better clients does not equal more clients, right? So you don't have to have thousands of clients to be able to hit your revenue goals. This is one of the most counterintuitive insights in building a service business. The path to higher income is a sharper filter. It's really about drilling down and getting better alignment with the people that you want to work with, clients who are that right fit, who commit fully to being able to take the steps and follow your direction, who really trust you and trust your guidance. They get dramatically better results and making your work feel effortless. So again, like talking about the better results, when clients are pre-qualified and in the right place to succeed, your methodology works as you designed it. And the outcomes become predictable. 1 + 1 = 2, right? If they follow the steps one and then follow the steps two, they're going to get to the outcome result because it is a proven process, right? That's your process. And you've been able to do it over and over. And the clients that have done it have been successful. So what that means is higher income. So having right fit clients, they're going to pay premium prices without negotiation. They're going to refer others just like them and come back to you. They're going to be lifers, right? They want to stay with you and buy everything that you put out there because they know what you're talking about. They know you know what you're talking about and you help them succeed. And this is going to compound your revenue organically. The qualification shift here requires a mindset shift for you to be able to change this process. You have to believe that your work is valuable enough and to have that filter for it. And it is. To be able to scale your business, you really got to recognize what the problem is and how. So before selling to everyone, your sales process starts with the pitch and you present your offer, you handle the objections and hope that the prospect says yes, regardless whether they're a good fit or not. After this filtering first, your sales process starts with qualification. You assess the fit before you ever present your offer. So by the time you pitch, the conversion's almost inevitable. Like you don't even have to do a pitch half the time because the clients have already sold themselves. They know and they trust you and they know that they are going to be able to get incredible results with working with you. So it's not even like a full sales pitch. So qualification, if when you've been doing this right and you've got this infrastructure set up in your business, it's not about being like exclusive for the sake of being exclusive. It's about protecting the the integrity of your results and the energy of your business. So gap number 3 is not having a signature system. This is the biggest one, is not having a signature system. And it's the most powerful one to be able to close. And when we're looking at these 3 particular gaps, it's the difference between selling yourself and selling a proven methodology. You can think about some of the greatest methods out in the world, like P90X, like working out programs, the Weight Watchers, they have a particular program. Just picking on that particular niche, Beachbody has a particular signature methodology. Those are proven systems. It's just getting it out of your head and building standard operating procedures and building signature systems to be able to have this blueprint that people can follow time and time again in your business to be able to get the incredible results that you are capable of helping people to be able to get. So let's talk about the signs that you're missing it. So first of all, if you don't have a defined named methodology, you're in a really fragile position because your business depends entirely on your personal presence. And that's a really hard ceiling. If you think about the names that I've just mentioned with Beachbody, with P90X, with Weight Watchers, I don't even know who owns those, right? But I know the methodology, I know the signature systems because they are household names for anybody in the fitness space or in the health and wellness space. They're going to know those particular signature systems and those methodologies by the names, not necessarily the founder of that, because the system sells itself. Signs that you're missing it is that you're selling you, right? Prospects are buying you. I mean, they're buying your energy, your personal expertise. That's flattering, but it's also a trap because you can't scale yourself, as well as if down the road you want to be able to sell your business. If you are the business, there isn't a signature methodology. That makes it really hard to have that exit plan to be able to sell your business because it is tied to you as a personal brand versus your signature system. And again, everything depends on you. So there's no documented process that someone else could follow. So you can't just hand it off to your VA or to a co-coach or to your sales team to have a sales call and close a sale with a client all the way to onboarding them because there's no documented process in your business. So each engagement feels different from the last. You're improvising delivery rather than executing on a proven, reliable sequence of steps, of workflows that are in place that, time and time again, like you could hand that workflow off to a 5th grader, right? And the 5th grader could be able to implement it. It should be that, I don't want to say dumbed down, but that doable that even a fifth grader could be able to do it. And then no delegation possible. So if it's all in your head, you can't easily delegate. And you also, it's not only being able to bring on support or build a team because there's nothing to hand off, but there's also no documentation. There's no playbook. There's no system to operate. So when you don't have that and people are winging it to do a particular task, it is an unfair advantage for everyone because not only do they not have a repeatable process that drives the result that you're looking for, but then you also can't hold them accountable to anything because you don't have those repeatable processes in place. So it really sets yourself up for failure and sets your team up for failure. The real cost of having a signature system is without a signature system, you are the product. Again, requiring the founder to be present at every transaction and never truly being able to scale. So not being able to scale your business, your growth is capped by the number of hours that you work. There's no way to serve more clients without working more, right? We got into being entrepreneurs because we want the dream lifestyle of having a business that works around us, not the other way around. But it's really hard to do when you don't have a signature system. You have no leverage without a system. You can't create courses or group coaching programs or any kind of leverage product because every dollar of revenue requires a corresponding hour for that exchange, right? That one-on-one calls with clients and so forth. You don't have a team, so you can't hire or delegate without a documented process, and the team can only execute on what's been clearly defined. So right now, nothing is. Again, it's all in your head. And AKA, there's no freedom because it is all in your head. And it's very painful in having the signature system for your business and having these SOP, standard operating procedures, practices, systems in place in your business that your business can run without you. It gives you the freedom of time. It gives you the freedom of location, of income, and requires systems that can operate without you. Without a signature system, you'll never have that. So it's really important, you guys. And it's only a decision that you can make. What are you right now? Are you the talent? Like you are the product. Everyone who buys gets access to you. You're indispensable, but you're also replaceable, capped, and you're exhausted, and your income is a function of your hours and nothing else. Or you can choose to be the architect. You can choose to build a system that clients can buy into, a proven methodology, a named process for your business, a design that is the machine. You design the machine and then you scale it, right? And your income becomes a function of your leverage. Both paths require skill. Only one builds a business. That this is your choice, and it starts with structure. So it's really important to just pause here and take a moment, really look at all of these things that we've talked about in today's session and really get clear on where your gaps are and look at those signs. How are they presenting them? What are the side effects of that in your business? The signature system shift here for you is the most transformational shift of this entire training. And the changes are not just in how you deliver, but also how you position, how you price, and how you sell your work. Before, you're selling you. Your pitch is you pitch your background, you pitch your experience, you pitch your personality. Like it's like going on a date and like you're trying to sell yourself, right? Every sales conversation starts from scratch and feels deeply personal. After having a system in place, you pitch your proven methodology with a name, a clear sequence with defined outcomes at every single step along the way in your signature system from A to B. They are defined outcomes. It's also, again, like how your students know that they're making progress in your business is because they know that they've reached those particular milestones and they've been able to, like by module 2 of or step 2 of your signature process, they can anticipate having this result. So it's really important that your prospects are buying into a process and the results become predictable for every single person. So having a methodology, having a named, documented approach that clients can understand and trust before they even speak to you, having a framework, it's these clear sequence of steps that delivers those consistent, predictable outcomes for every single client equals repeatable results. So when you sell a system, results stop being luck, like a product of luck, and it starts becoming a product of reliable and scalable process. If you just follow the steps, you will get the same results or better. So this is why you feel stuck. This is why you feel capped and why you feel overwhelmed. It was never about your effort. You've been working hard enough, possibly too hard in your business. And maybe you have resonated and identified a lot of those late nights, burning the midnight oil, feeling burnt out. The problem has always been structural. So again, kind of looking at the foundation of this house here and knowing that the gap one is that you have no infrastructure. So looking at that as you're auditing your business, do you have a structure in place? Do you have it, or is everything manual? Gap number two that we talked about is that you're taking on the wrong clients, inconsistent results, and therefore draining your energy. And also, again, not becoming repeat clients that you want to work with, or clients that, you know, are referring business to you or become great testimonials for you to bake back into your sales process and into your marketing, because they're not getting the results from the program, and they just make you really wind up resenting your business and wanting to throw in the towel because you are just so drained. Or gap number three, that you have no methodology, no leverage, no freedom. So understanding like all of these gaps here, the no infrastructure, the no qualification process, the no signature system, together, these three gaps create a ceiling, right? There's that threshold, and you can't get beyond that threshold alone, and you can't break through. So it's not the effort, it's the structure. And all three of these gaps compound together. Closing one and then the others becomes easier. Close all three, and you have a real scalable business. This is exactly why I created the Signature System Blueprint Challenge. It's a focused, live action based experience designed to help you close all three of these gaps in your business in just 5 days. So, starting next Monday, we are going to be going through the material each and every single day to be able to identify. You've learned today in these training what the three gaps are. We want to map these gaps. So we want to be able to audit your current business structure and be able to pinpoint exactly what the three gaps are and what it's costing you with clarity, not guesswork. We're going to define your framework. So we're going to be able to develop your signature system, give it a name, structure it, and turn it into a repeatable structure and system that is sellable. We're going to build your system. So it's the design, the operational infrastructure that makes your delivery consistent. It makes it scalable and not entirely dependent on you showing up every single day. And then we're going to create a 90-day plan. So you're going to leave with a concrete, prioritized action plan so you know exactly what to build first and what to implement second and what to delegate next. So your business starts running on an autopilot. So you start getting predictable results in your business, not just from your predictable revenue, but also predictable results for your clients. So if you are ready to build your system, let me know. Drop some hell yes in the comments below. We're going to have some live and pre-scheduled elements for you. You can join us for the live sessions. You can work through the materials. It is free. So the first time going through this real challenge, it's for free. Of course, it's going to be recorded, and you'll be able to have access to the replay to be able to catch up on the homework. We're going to have the access to the Founders Lab as well. So access to the Founders Lab here as well. So you will be able to join in the Founders Lab here. We already have 130, like 30 members in there right now that are going in the Founders Lab itself. And in the Founders Lab, in the Learning Center, there are also more coaching programs and courses available for you as well. So this is where the Signature System 5-day challenge, the course lives. So every day when you're in the Founders Lab, you'll be able to either jump on live or you'll be able to come right to the course, and all of the replays will be uploaded in the course section. So you'll be able to work through those at your convenience if you can't work through the materials live with us. You'll also be able to go over in the discussions tab here and be able to post your questions, get feedback. This is an interactive experience, and members helping others as well. So you can ask questions, peers inside the community, and give each other feedback. So the more you give in this community, the more you're going to get back. So make sure if you're asking for feedback on any of your work, that you are providing feedback, good, valuable feedback to others inside of the community as well. We're going to be doing some training. This is my training lab here. So I have built my business out on High Level, if you're familiar with High Level. And we're going to be doing some behind the scenes training to show you how to be able to use this all in one CRM, course hosting platform, and marketing platform to do everything inside of your business. So it's a one stop solution that we're going to be walking you through step by step how to be able to implement everything that we're going through inside the training. All right. So before we wrap up, let's talk. So you've just learned about three gaps that could be silently capping your growth right now in your business. And if you're being honest with yourself, at least one of them probably hit a little close to home. And I get it. Like I have to do this exercise for myself. Even as you continue to grow, it's like every level has a new devil. Like you have to continue to do this audit for yourself over and over and identify where these gaps are in your business so you can continue to improve them. So number one, like a gap one, just recapping here, basically you have no infrastructure, everything lives in your head and it stalls the moment that you step out of your business. Or maybe you're number two, you're saying yes to everyone. There's no qualification. You're just basically taking any project or any job that comes to you because they're throwing money at you. Or is leaving you exhausted, right? Because you're working with clients who weren't the right fit, or you're doing work that you don't enjoy. Or number three, you're selling yourself, not the system. Gap three, there's no signature system. Your business depends entirely on your personal presence and your personal energy, or things fall apart. If you don't have a system, you don't have a business and you just have a job, right? And this is not what you got into this for. So you can't really grow your business and work beyond your personal hours, and you'll never be able to give you the freedom that you started this business to be able to have. If you're identifying with anything that we've gone through in this training, the good news is that the signature system is something that you can build. And it's exactly what we're going to be covering in the upcoming Signature System Blueprint Challenge. You now understand what the three hidden gaps are in your business and how to be able to take an audit look at your business and understand, is it gap one, two, or three? Is it a combination of all three of them? You know what they look like. You know what they're costing you and your business, and the shift required for you to be able to close each of those gaps in your business. The only question is, what will you do with this information? Say knowledge is power, but I think implementation is actually where the power comes from, is by taking action, not just learning about it, right? Like you can watch people all day teach you to fish, but you don't ever learn how to fish until you start. And how can you do that? You can join the challenge. The Signature System Blueprint Challenge starts on Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's live. This session, this first round, it's free, and it's designed to help you exactly where you're at right now and help you to be able to identify what these gaps are and how to be able to get systems and structure in place in a signature system in place for you to be able to scale your business, to close those gaps and to quit having those problems. I've given you the link here to join the Signature System Blueprint, and it's also dropped in the description below us. So it's launch.visionary-edge.com/signature-system. Or if you have the slides, if you've joined us in the Founders Lab, these are hyperlinked. So you can just click the slide and it will open up the opt-in page for you to be able to register. I dropped it below for you. So this is what the page looks like. You can just save your spot. I'm only taking 50 people because you're going through this particular process. There is a lot to be able to go through, and I want to make sure that I am giving you the attention that you deserve to be able to really work through understanding what those gaps are and how to be able to close them for yourself and set up a signature system that helps you to be able to scale your business. So that is your homework, is to do the gaps. You can post your results if you want to go through this exercise and you want to come over into the Founders Lab. You can just come into the Founders Lab here and go up to right here, and you can just put in audit results for signature system, and you can put in what the gaps were and ask for feedback. So again, it's link to join the Signature System Blueprint Challenge is in the comments below or in the description below this video. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay, looks good. So should you have any questions after you watch the replay of this, again, feel free to bring your questions directly to the Founders Lab or drop them below this video. And I read all of my comments, I read all my questions, and would love to be able to get back to you. If you've tuned in with me through the end, thank you so much for joining us. I'm really excited that you are here, and I can't wait to be able to help you work through what these bottlenecks are in your business to weed those out and to get your signature system implemented and installed in your business over 5 days. It's what we're going to do each and every day is audit your business, understand what it's really costing you, then put those systems in place to be able to help you to be able to scale your business. Look forward to that. Look forward to more trainings coming forth this week. We'll also be looking at having a kickoff party. If that's something you're interested in, give us some love on this. Let us know what your most exciting thing is that you're wanting to be able to work out in your business throughout this challenge. We will see as much as we can bake into the training to help you to get incredible results and help you to quit being the bottleneck in your business and set up that strong foundation in your business